Hey there, and welcome back to Valley por Vida. Now, thank you so much for sticking with us because the moment you've been waiting for is here. We've got your trivia time answer. Now, you may recall before the break, we asked you to determine which item more people in the world have access to over their phones. And the answer is working toilets. Apparently nowadays, more folks across the globe have access to working toilets than they do mobile phones. So just goes to show how unique of a device our phones are. And if you didn't already know, well, of course now you do. And if you have access to both, then I'd say you're doing pretty good in life. Now, as something that we here in the Rio Grande Valley specifically have access to is South Padre Island, and of course everything that it has to offer. And there is in fact a lot of fun to be had out on SPI, so let's go ahead and learn about some interesting things regarding our beautiful island so that you can have in the back of your head the next time that you visit. Now, according to AWPnow.com, apparently whenever we cross the Queen Isabella Causeway, we're actually crossing the longest bridge in the entire state of Texas. And it's also the only road, of course, that connects South Padre to the mainland area, with Port Isabel being the first city you drive into, coming from the island. And you might be familiar with Friday night fireworks on SPI, which is always super fun. The site says that there is usually a really cool firework display to catch over the ocean and that it's most of the time a year-round event, allowing you and your family plenty of opportunities to head on out. And then, of course, during the summer season, there are even fireworks on certain Saturdays, which is great. And the lower Laguna Madre Bay area is absolutely beautiful, so it's just fun to explore those waters as well as the outside ocean areas. In fact, the site says that our SPI Bay is a hypersaline estuary bay system, and it's actually one of only a very few in the entire world. See, our bay has extra sea salt, more jellyfish, and more fun. And by the way, the site actually outlines that if you do happen to get stung by a jellyfish, it turns out salt and vinegar are the best treatment, so definitely keep that in mind. And then there are lots of pirates on SPI. That was my R for a pirate. Well, then the site says that the island was a popular spot for various treasure adventures like pirates find, and of course sea folk. And the pirates used to hide their best items in the waters. And a lot of our island businesses play off that historical pirate theme still today, like Pirates Landing restaurant, to the left of the causeway. And of course, SPI is also unique in its marine life. The site says that it's considered the longest barrier island in the entire United States. And it even outlines that it's home to about 11 different endangered species, which is why so many of our local SPI residents and workers work hard, to preserve our beautiful natural habitat and animal life. In fact, a lot of our Port Isabel and young RGV residents end up studying our local marine life, and they end up going to college to become scientists and researchers and activists for our SPI environment specifically. Of course, there are so many amazing career paths to follow, and if you've ever dreamed about having a successful career in the nursing field, for example, then pay attention. See, STC recently got a grant, and their RN to BSN program has officially been approved as an 100% online opportunity for students. So there are a lot more, flexibility and opportunity. And our team spoke with their Dean of Nursing and Allied Health, Dr. Jason Valerio, to learn about, and he kind of told our team all about the program. So go ahead and take a look.
Well, first of all, the Nursing Shortage Reduction Program grant was first authorized in 2000 by the 77th Texas Legislature. And it was established because it was found out that Texas is experiencing a significant shortage of nurses. So this grant will pave the way for increasing the number of registered nurses in the state of Texas to protect the safety and welfare of the citizens of Texas. The Nursing Shortage Reduction Program grant, we've been a recipient of this grant since 2000. And each year we've been awarded a hefty amount of money in order to increase the number of registered nurses, not just in our local area, but also in the region. Based on the Texas Board of Nursing Report 2022, according to that report, South Texas College has graduated the numerous number of graduates that we've ever had for the past several years that we have in existence, combining ADN and BN graduates. And among the public community colleges in the state of Texas, we're the #1 in producing nurses in the state of Texas. Well, first of all, the BSN program was approved by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, the Texas Board of Nursing, and we initially applied for the ASN accreditation, which is a national nursing accreditation body for nursing. And during that time, we applied for hybrid. But because of pandemic, we found that nurses need to work. They're not able to juggle school and work. And because of the scarcity of nursing that we have experienced, and it was intensified by COVID-19, they cannot attend to school, but they have to work in order to take care of patients in the hospital. So we applied and for 100% online program of our BSN program, and thankfully we were approved for 100% full online delivery starting fall of 2022. There are two nursing programs specifically for RN. We have the ADN, which is an Associate Applied Science major in the Associate Degree in Nursing, which will take about 4 semesters or 2 years roughly to get the degree. And you have also the Bachelors of Science in Nursing, which are usually located mainly in universities.
And since there are so many educational opportunities here in the Valley, it only makes sense that there are a lot of fun things to do too, right? In fact, the Harlingen Chamber team is always working on bringing forth innovation to the city, and our team dropped by to learn more about what we can look forward to in the near future.
My name is Javier De Leon, and I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Chamber of Harlingen. You know, the importance of the Chamber of Commerce is 3 words: support, promote, and advocate. Is the synergy of information for everything that goes on. Support is where we help out businesses and industry that really need it the most. We provide professional development. We provide soft skills. We provide as many resources as we possibly can to make sure that our businesses stay afloat. Promote. That's the second most important part of the Chamber of Commerce. We put them on social media. We put them on the website. We connect them with appropriate media outlets. And at the end of the day, we want to help make sure that everyone knows what's going on, because that is going to allow them to have a better traffic flow, and that's going to allow them to have a better business as they move forward. The advocating is very, very important in that we help where anytime they have any issues legislatively, whatever the situation is, we're going to advocate the needs so that their business has a voice.
See, it's important to take advantage of any open doors available to achieve your goals, but if there are none, you can always open some of your own. In fact, that's what one RGV native just recently did. He accomplished one of his lifelong dreams of writing his first ever sci-fi novel and then publishing it. Valley author and Harlingen native William Steele is the 25-year-old author of The Spark, and it actually is his first book in Beyond the Light universe. Now, this piece of literature is recommended for readers around the ages of 13 and up, and it was released earlier this month, which is so exciting. Again, it's a science fiction, fantasy, or magical surrealism type of story, and it's really interesting about a character's journey to self-discovery and then undergoing trials in the universe. Now, the cool thing here is that William is actively working with small businesses here in the Rio Grande Valley, all in an effort to help promote reading. He's visiting local coffee shops, public libraries and bookstores, and even comic book shops. He's even doing book readings, signings, and collaborating with different local school districts and teachers to help inspire our next generation of young readers and authors from all across the 956. And we had the chance to catch up with him for an inside look at his journey thus far.
My name is William Steele. I am the author of the Beyond the Light series, and I'm really excited to share with you guys the debut of my first novel, The Spark. The Spark is a science fiction fantasy novel that I've been working on for like the last 4 years. It's the first in a book series of 4, And the contents of the book, without ruining anything too much, is going to be the story of two protagonists. Yaya, he is the last mage on another planet named Fear in another dimension, and Dr. Liam, who is kind of this obsessed scientist that wants to essentially transition his people into an eternal being. And you deal with the Therian people and their progression from nomadic, egalitarian, kind of harmonic-seeking individuals into sedentary, capitalist, artificially sentient individuals. So they go from being temporal to immortal. And you kind of like are dealt the problems with that, the things that they have to face together, and of course, what the fate of the Therian people is. So I think the initial inspiration for the novel was actually the poem that is used by the main protagonist towards the end of the novel, towards the end of the book. The poem is called The Spark, which is also the title of the book. And I was pretty much just inspired to share an example of what it's like to let your imagination kind of just run wild and to explore what that looks like for myself. So the spark was kind of the birth child of wanting to just pursue curiously what it would look like to create another world. And then it ended up developing into something more. So it showed me that once you start creating something, it kind of takes a life of its own, and it's your job to just kind of like listen and to like follow it wherever it goes.
We hope that you're able to take advantage of all the educational opportunities offered and just all the reading that you can do to achieve your own dreams as well. But for now, that concludes our show, and be sure to tune in again next time because, again, we're going to have a lot more to talk about. But in the meantime, you can always follow our team on social media for sneak peeks at what we've got coming up and for your chance at your comment to possibly be featured on air. So that's it. We'll see you next time for sure on Valley Pura Vida.